Alright, what's up guys, it's KOSDFF here. Now I'm going to keep this short because like you, I've already watched like 3 or 4 videos of other YouTubers reacting to the Fine Brothers announcement and then their bullshit update of how they try to play it off. And of course there's people tweeting about it going crazy, and there's even streams dedicated to watching their subs go down. But even with watching all that stuff, I feel like there was a few things that just weren't thoroughly explained and pinpointed. A lot of other YouTubers were, some of them were being too nice, some of them were being too stern. The video I actually enjoyed the most was by Boogie2988. I just like the way that guy bitches. He usually always analyzes both sides and then comes out with a side that I always usually agree with, because he's a pretty, I don't know, he's not eccentric or radical in any of his beliefs, and usually just kind of goes with a greater good type answer, which is generally the side I usually fall on. If you want a really in-depth like reaction video to their video where he kind of goes into all the points that the Fine Brothers were trying to make and the possible pros and cons that could arise out of what they're trying to do, go watch his video. But in my video, instead of being an analysis, I just wanted to kind of just tell you my opinions of this. Now I'm thinking that most of you actually agree with what I'm about to say because everyone's unsubbing and everyone's having a pretty negative reaction to what they're doing, but I just don't think that it was explained with a raw honesty by a lot of these other YouTubers of exactly what the Fine Brothers are doing, because they're just kind of trying to be nice, especially because this is something that they might try to do themselves. Now I don't know if you guys kind of know the YouTube structure of things. To be honest, I don't really even know 100% how it all works. Alright, through specialization of labor and economies of scale, I'm guessing YouTube has decided to focus its energies on developing its site and kind of outsourced its talent management to third-party companies known as YouTube networks, or MCNs. Now, if you don't know what that is, and if you're not a YouTuber, you probably don't, it basically stands for multi-channel networks, and it basically allows these other companies to go out and find YouTubers and develop them and give them tools and get them partnerships, and then their revenue flows through that YouTube network so that the YouTube network can take a share. And historically, this has been an extremely mutually beneficial relationship, as in I don't necessarily know how to do a whole bunch of stuff with YouTube and don't have all the connections and licenses and contracts that these YouTube networks have. Now what you don't know, even if you did know all that, is that MCNs are extremely just saturated on YouTube. Anyone can start one of those. It is not difficult to start one of those. I know a lot of my other YouTuber friends just have one as it is. Team Kaliber might eventually have its own MCN, to support all of our partners and kind of to streamline our operation if we had so many members. Now obviously right now we're a really close-knit tight family group, and I see no need to take a bit of their revenue to help them out by promoting them through Team Kaliber, because in a large amount of ways they promote us in an equal way. So basically anyone can start one of these things, and the only thing that really dictates whether it's going to work or not is how popular or what kind of social media fan base or viewership that network owner can reach, either through itself or its other YouTube partners. So Fine Brothers World, or whatever they're trying to do, is just another network in which they can partner other YouTube channels to collect a portion of their stuff to be able to promote them through their multiple Fine Brothers sites. So basically all they've really done is just created a network. They called it this world thing and made it this huge glorious thing about changing the world and fighting it back, which was really their only mistake. Had they just made a network and sought to bring in other YouTubers to help them create their content and then collect a percentage of their revenue, much like most MCNs do for their YouTube partners, I mean, there would have been no problem. That's business as usual. Everybody does that. But they had to paint it as this self-righteous, white knighting, people are copying our content. You as viewers should fight against anyone trying to copy us or do anything like our format. Now, disclaimer, they've never actually said what their format is. We don't actually know if they mean anything that has to do with somebody watching a video and reacting, or if it's limited to just their logos, which again would just be business as normal, and there would be no point to making an announcement about it. And because this is such business as usual and it's just so common, it's led everyone to believe that they're actually trying to trademark the React video format in its most rudimentary form, which is ridiculous because they didn't think of that shit. Sorry, I remember seeing kids say the darndest things growing up, and it was Bill Cosby and the kid, and sometimes they would watch stuff and the kid would react and it was hilarious. I'm pretty sure a lot of other YouTubers have made videos where they reacted to something that they saw, whether it was a movie, a commercial, another YouTube video, but no one really had the balls to take someone's video and just steal it and stick it in their own video until, well, the Fine Brothers came along. I guess they didn't have a problem with that. Now I actually don't don't know if they license out content to the people that they show the videos of. I'm not sure if the videos being shown, their creators actually receive a percentage of the revenue of the content they create on their Fine Brothers channels. Knowing that would really change the tide of this argument, because they're paying the people that they're showing the videos for and have a license and an agreement so that they're allowed to upload someone else's content. Then it's like, okay, but this React format in its most basic rudimentary form is nothing new. It is nothing the Fine Brothers made and never existed before them. The only thing they did was they did it their own way, and they did it with the logo. Now, this kind of gets me to my main point of this video. I've had a long kind of like build up to this point that I'm trying to make, and it was actually an offshoot of the point that Boogie made. It was that the internet right now is kind of like, especially with YouTube viewership, so to speak, it's a wild, wild west. We put out videos and you as viewers decide which one's the best. The reason why we allow someone to have like a patent or just like a monopoly on an idea is just to further the discovery of these ideas and of these medical breakthroughs and of these technologies, because no one would make anything if they knew someone just come steal it, and overall society would not benefit from that. So that's why we have things like patents. I want to propose an idea to you that we don't actually want that in this business, being entertainment. I don't think entertainment is furthered by giving someone a monopoly just because they thought of it first. I don't. Now that's a terrible idea. When you first hear that, you're just like, holy shit, hell no. If I made something, I should own it. But I don't think that's the truth in the world of entertainment. Now, you see it all the time in movies. That's why Armageddon came out at the same time as Deep Impact. That's why the Lord of the Rings movies came out at the same time as all the Harry Potters. That's why all the superhero movies all came out together. It's because someone does something and someone else comes along and can do it better or is just as well, and then more people are entertained. I might really like React videos and not like the Fine Brothers ones, or not even that. That's a negativism. Maybe I just like someone else's more. And I think that backbone, that infrastructure actually creates better entertainment. I don't think giving someone else a period of time to create content exclusively that no one else can copy them or at least give a shot at trying to make that same style of content helps entertainment. I don't think it serves you, I don't think it serves me, and I'm a content creator, I'm saying that. But then again, I wasn't the one who made up the Call of Duty commentary. I wasn't one who made up the ranting vlog. I wasn't the one who made up Call of Duty trolling. I simply saw it and did my own version of it, and I can say this without any ego, I'm like one of a handful of channels that are still doing and still developing that kind of content. Now, if Minnesota Burns had some kind of trademark, YouTube enforced, copyright, gonna take your videos down bullshit on my channel and decided to just take down everything I was doing, you wouldn't have any of my videos. Now, my content kind of started that. I've branched out into other things. Now, you wouldn't have gotten any of that because I would have never been able to get started. And as I'm saying this, I'm starting to feel like this is a really radical idea, but at the same time, I just feel like, one, it's already a thing. So I'm not even arguing anything that's new. Everyone copies everybody in entertainment. TV shows, musicians, movies, writers, YouTubers, video gamers, everything. Any kind of multimedia, social entertainment there exists. It's all been kind of derived, which does kind of suck for the guy who made it first. Now, I'm sure the guy who made it first, he probably broke out and, blew up or whatever and got a whole bunch of attention for that. So he did get a benefit, but he didn't get any benefit from all the other people who kind of copied him, so to speak, and did their own version of what he did. But then again, that kind of circles back to, I honestly don't feel like, even if that would be good like in real business, which it is, it's a lot more formalistic than it is on YouTube where you can just do whatever you want and upload it. I feel like that's the difference. Like, that's another point that Boogie made, was that, we're not Hollywood. We don't want to be Hollywood. This is the internet. This is internet video. We're already competing with plenty of people from TV that have come over to YouTube and realized there is a massive non-national limited market out there where you can put your entertainment products out and a whole bunch of people all over the world will see them. So I have plenty of reasons to fight for the absolute opposite of my argument, thinking that if the guy who created the React videos should be the only one that should be able to make reaction videos. The guy who made Call of Duty commentary should be the only guy that can make that. The guy who made Minecraft Let's Plays can be the only person that did that. But then I would be taking the amount of YouTubers that exist and the amount of YouTubers you watch and making it like a percent of that. I prefer YouTube being like the roots of a tree. It all starts somewhere and then it spans out and freaking goes in a million different directions and can go viral and change in one night or just really evolve over time. And that's what the internet, that's what you as viewers having almost full control over who's popular, who's getting views, whose business does well on this in the media industry. That's what you as viewers get to do, and you don't have to go vote for it. You just get to be you. That natural behavior that results from a mass populace doing that, I feel like that's what entertainment should be. If not everywhere, it should at least be that way on the internet, and that's what YouTube is. So I think the main thing that the Fine brothers missed in all of this, because honestly, as someone who understands business and who understands the legality of the things they're talking about, of course their explanations was really stupid. Their Burger King example, I'm not gonna even roast them for it, just because I don't feel like I have to. I feel like anybody realized that was the dumbest freaking comparison you could ever have made, because there's a billion different ways to make hamburgers. And then that being said, there's just no point to make your announcement. Unless you were trying to get attention, you were trying to white knight, you were trying to be this glorious leader to create this new foundation for YouTube that unfortunately you didn't realize no one agreed with. Which makes you really fucking stupid and makes it where I don't have to roast your dumb example even though I just did. Now all this being said, you know, I do already kind of regret making this video simply because I've just yelled at you guys about something that you're already pissed off about, and I've just come along and kind of just fed off the cloud of negativism that's floating over this brand on the internet. But I really just kind of wanted to point out the main things about the MCNs, and that, you know, what they really just did was make a network that everyone else is doing, and it's completely normal. So I did kind of throw them that bone. But to try and paint it the way they did was just both ignorant, short-sighted, and a complete lack of self-awareness. I hope you agree with my semi-radical opinions on how we as YouTubers and you as viewers should be able to self-police our entertainment choices, and that if someone comes along and can make a certain video type or format, to put it in the word, better than you can, I'm sorry, I don't want that person to be impeded in any way. I want him or her to be able to do anything they want because I want to be entertained. And I 100% will never agree with someone's creativity being able to stipend someone else's. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed it. With that being said, go easy on the guys. I mean, they're getting shit on. Nobody likes being shit on, especially on the internet. I'm sure that's happened to all of us at least once. But hope you guys enjoyed it. See you tomorrow.